I saw yesterday that the government was in celebratory mode. You were celebrating that Ireland had the fastest growing GDP in all the EU, and I'm sure that news must have come at great comfort for all those currently struggling to pay their bills. And I'm sure all those anxiously waiting for the eviction ban to be lifted must have slept a little easier last night. And I'm sure spontaneous street parties, in fact, broke out amongst the 11,000 of our citizens who are homeless. In the mind of this government, the boom times are getting even boomier. But I'm sorry, Minister, to burst your bubble, but nobody outside of this out-of-touch government would embarrass themselves by cheering about our headline GDP numbers at a time like this. And maybe Fine Gael have forgotten about the phenomenon known as leprechaun economics, but the rest of the state hasn't. Here, in real world, we have families who are having to go without certain daily necessities like heat, food and electricity. We have people on low and fixed incomes who have been pushed to the pin of their collar because of inflation. We have renters terrified that the eviction ban is ending and they can't find an alternative accommodation because, guess what? Ye haven't supplied the required housing. And that is why, at ARA, we would introduce a spring bonus for those on working age payments, including lone parents, pensioners and people with disabilities. We would extend the fuel allowance eligibility to working family payment recipients to reach families who are in work but are on very, very low incomes. And we would also extend the eviction ban to those currently absolutely terrified of losing their homes so that they could, just for another night, sleep a little bit easier. And we would also grant relief to those whose mortgage costs have exploded with the recent ECB interest rate increases. And Ara, we know that the government can do this, that the government can help those people that are struggling at this very moment in time. So this government can't tell us that in one breath they tell us how well the economy is performing, and then in another tell us that there isn't enough funds there to support those very, very vulnerable people who are being pushed to the pin of their collars. Because, Ara, that is real lives that we are talking about. And sometimes we get caught in the statistics, but these are people who are really struggling and who are really, really hurting.